YouTube? Topaz Jayz back for another review, and this one's to that Mac Miller Tetanus shot featuring Absol, and I'm giving this one the red light here, dude, because this was pretty bad, but yet this is to be expected with Mac Miller being deceased and all of that, man. Like, you can automatically assume every single song that has not been put out there already that they ultimately had, that Mac Miller didn't feel as though it was good enough to be on a recent album, or he had alternate plans for it, or it just wasn't complete at all these songs are going to be coming out. And it's really because these are money makers for the label. Forget the whole aspect that Mac Miller himself didn't believe in these songs, because if he did, they would have already been out there. Forget all that. Doesn't matter. They're just going to give you all of this music, and they're going to make up excuses like, okay, the fans would want to hear it, even though it could be perceived as hurting his brand or holding his legacy in the long run by releasing music that he honestly didn't want to have released. But here's just the reality of it. I wasn't the biggest of Mac Miller's fans when he was alive, you feel me? I mean, yes, his last album, the Swimming album, I believe, that was definitely a step in the right direction, where he got back to focusing in on the formula that he's seen success with, where he got the best production he could possibly get, and he tried to compile together the best songs. But yet he lost his way from the early days in the middle of his career, where he was just putting out songs with lackluster production, where he really was trying to rely heavily on his lyrical skill set, which he really didn't have like that. But yet the thing is, he got back to what he was really good at in the last album that he had. But yet that was it though. All the rest of the songs that he probably got stacked up is probably going to be along the lines of the same idea that he had for his music from before, where he believed that his skill set was superior enough that he could make these songs into something good, even though the production was lackluster, just like this track, where he got Earl Sweatshirt producing the track, where I've been heavily critical on him as well, where his production is rather terrible. Like, people give him a lot of credit for music that has never been really that good. And then you got Absol on there, who he himself is overrated as well, where many people want to deem him as a dope lyricist, or that he puts out a lot of quality music, and I haven't heard it. But let's go ahead and break this track on down, where there's no core concept here. We're really just spitting overall here, and neither of these artists is really that great at just spitting, you dig? Like, some of the notable bars that we can point out off of this would be starting with Mac Miller, how he's saying that you're just a functioning puppet, you're like Kermit the Frog. Like, simplistic, we all understand what he's saying there, as he's saying it like it was a core punchline, when it's not. That was generic at best. Or how he said that I'll take your chick's last name with a hyphen. Like, okay, another super simplistic. He's trying to look at the whole aspect of what every rapper talks about, of how they'll steal another person's woman and all that. And he's saying that he'll do it with a hyphen, so therefore he's saying that he will marry your chick and all of that, which is a pretty garbage bar. And Absol isn't doing much better here, where he's saying, I always be given the gifts, that's why they on my sack, which is a comparison to the mythology of Santa Claus, how he gives gifts out of the big sack or whatever, but yet he's drawing the comparison like, I'm giving people all of this, so now they're all over my nuts. Like, slick, but would I say it was a good bar? Not really. And I will say the next best bars that he had on this, where there's a pretty huge drop off, is like how he said, I'm invincible. It's principle. You all are in class. Get it? Principle and class. And then finishes up that bar saying that I'm invisible, or the critics can't see ab. A massive drop in the quality level of that bar, and the first bar wasn't even all that strong. Overall, this song is just lacking in every area, you dig? Starting with the production being super dry, and then the fact that they decided to do a lyrical song, but neither of them are actually all that good lyrically, in which both of them need quality beats to make a quality song, but they specifically chose a super dry one. This one was flawed from the get-go, and this is exactly the reason why Mac Miller did not include this on anything that he did while he was alive. But yet, we're going to continuously hear more of this. It just happens to be the way that the music industry treats individuals in this game that dies. They're going to try to capitalize off of you 100%, and hopefully Mac Miller's family is getting a piece of the proceeds that's coming from this. But yet this was like a leak. Like, it came off on a project called I'm Sorry I Couldn't Fix or Take Your Pain Away. A mouthful of a project right there. And I probably won't be reviewing that joint at all, you dig? Because I feel a kind of way about talking about a project that's like unreleased pretty much and is post-mortem. So they're pretty much trying to take full advantage of this guy. I don't even know if the family's getting money off of it. But I will tell you this, that project wasn't any good. But, you know, instead of concluding the video right here, man, I guess I should go ahead and talk about the news again, man. Like, it's been a while since we've delved on whatever's going on in the hip-hop game, man. And I felt today is a pretty good reason to. Starting with Jay-Z becoming the first hip-hop billionaire, in which, you know, Dr. Dre a while ago, like, was celebrating that he became a billionaire, but that came out to be untrue. As this, it could be true, it could not be true. Honestly, they all got so much money. What's the point in celebrating at that point? What can you do with $1 billion that you can't with, what, 500 million or 50 million? You dig? But yet, big shots out though. I ain't even mad at it. Did you guys see that Nas announced that the Lost Tapes 2 project is on its way now, man? And I mean, take that with a grain of salt, because Nas have said plenty of things is on the way and you don't hear from it again for quite some time, you dig? But yet, I am a bit excited for that, because the Lost Tapes 1 was amazing. Still got a few songs off of that that I really enjoy listening to. That Drunk by Myself joint, and that Nothing New Under the Sun comes to my mind right now without even thinking about it too heavily. Like, that joint was pretty fire, so I'm happy to see that a part 2 is coming, and I'm hoping that it'll be just as good. Did you guys see that Bushwick Bill died from the Ghetto Boys at age 52, which that's a super sad thing right there, man. May he rest in peace. Where a previous generation looked at him as a legend in the game, which I can agree with that. And the last thing I guess we should talk about here is DJ Khaled flipping out. And you know, I'm not going to delve too deeply in it, because everybody from Charlemagne the God and the Breakfast Club and all of that have been harping on this, you dig? Where the basics of it is DJ Khaled sold his albums to go along with an energy drink, in which he allegedly got 100,000 in sales. But yet the problem with this is Billboard didn't accept it. And the reason why they didn't do that is because they felt as though the way that they reported it was shady. So therefore, they didn't include the numbers, even though Tyler, the Creator, did somewhat of the same thing. And his bundle album sales got credited while DJ Khaled's didn't. And DJ Khaled been flipping out. And I feel as though it's rightfully so. Like, a lot of people are mad at DJ Khaled, calling them a hater for saying that he sells albums, he don't sell bundles and all of that stuff. Which, yes, that is him being full of crap. But yet, I too would be mad if I didn't get the credit for the stuff that I put in the work for. Especially when Billboard told him that they would include his sales into the Billboard chart and stuff, and then they just reneged on him last second and all that. Like, that ain't cool, to the point that DJ Khaled wants to sue. And now the news media is trying to point fingers and laugh and clown DJ Khaled and all that stuff, dude. And you got to understand, who is it that's telling these news medias to make DJ Khaled into the bad guy here? Now, he's not doing himself a favor by calling out Tyler, the Creator, and all of that stuff, and making a joke out of himself in the news cycles and through Twitter and all of this stuff, dude. But yet, it's mighty convenient that the labels and billboard or getting away without anybody calling them out, you dig? And it comes off as these people are paying the media to paint them as the good guys. And I'm not going to do that because clearly these people were wrong too. I hope you enjoyed the show. You can follow me at Twitter up there. And you can go to downloadpads.com, that's down there, to read today's article.